What's good, YouTube? So I've been asked this question a lot about the Sfi process, so I'm gonna just make a quick video about it real quick. So when I decided to come to Sfi, I originally I was gonna go to JB Hunt. Never really heard. I spoke with JB Hunt once and never really heard back from them. So I just got my I filled out my application online for Sfi. I was referred to Sfi from one of my boys because he got his truck from there, so I actually used him as a referral, and that's how I got my representative. So that's how I heard about Sfi originally. So I applied to Sfi, and then I applied to Schneider. So once I talked to the guy from Sfi, how it goes is you'll do a first conversation with them. It'll probably be like 10-15 minutes going over like basic questions, and then they'll set you up for a I think it's a phone interview. So it's like an hour, like 45 minutes to an hour, where they ask you a series of questions of like, how do you run your business, do you got an LLC, all those different things of that nature. So like they ask you how much money do you keep in your bank account at all times, different things like that. And from what I see, based off of how your phone interview goes, is how much would determine how much you have to put down. So after my phone interview, he told me that since I was coming to Schneider to get my 2023, well, originally I was gonna get a used truck. So to get a used truck at the time was $2,000 down. And he offered me, he had two trucks at the time that was 300,000 miles. It was $2,000 down, and it would have been like $900 a month, but the maintenance account would have been higher because it's an older truck. So, but since they had like 300,000 miles, I wanted something with a little less than that, at least around like 150,000 miles tops. So I told him that I would just wait. So he told me for a brand new truck it would have been $3,900. Well, since I was coming to Schneider pays $1,400 of your closing fee for your truck. So if I'm gonna pay $2,000 for a used truck and I'm gonna pay $2,500 for a new truck, it only made sense to get a new truck. So I went the new truck route. I put $2,500 down. From the day that I put the $2,500 down, I think 2 weeks later is when I got an email to come to Green Bay to start my orientation and close on my truck. So the process for me didn't take long, but at the same time, if you want like a certain color or a certain year, like if you're like picky, then they tell you it's gonna take longer. So for me, I told them I prefer chocolate gray or the black. That's it, like as far as color wise, and a 23 truck, unless he had like a used premium. That's the only other truck that I wanted. So after 2 weeks they called me and I was able to get my truck. I came to Green Bay. Once you get to Green Bay or wherever you go to pick up your truck, if you're coming to Schneider, then picking up your truck is part of your orientation as well. But if you're not, then you just come, close on your truck, and you leave. The closing doesn't take long. They let you see the truck, and I don't know how it goes if you don't come to Schneider, but when I got my truck, I didn't get to drive it at first, but I got to drive it before I left orientation. And if any problems or anything, you can just let them know and they'll fix it before you go. And the closing, you sign, it's a stack of papers, and like any other contract, you do your closing, they explain all the paperwork that you're signing so you get an understanding. They do send you a preview of that contract before you even come to your closing. So if you want to take it, some people use lawyers, or you got family members that go over this contract with you, then you can go that route. So, but other than that, it's pretty much, for me, it was $2,500 down. I waited 2 weeks for my truck, and then I closed after that. I know some people, like when my brother got his truck, he got his truck from Sfi as well. He got a used truck, and I think he only waited, if I'm not mistaken, I think he waited like 2 or 3 weeks. He got a 2022 truck with, I think, like 80,000 miles, and I think he put 2,000 down. So I guess it just varies, because I've heard people say they put down $10,000. I heard people say they've been quoted 15. My friend, she got her truck from SFI as well, and she got a 2023 Volvo. She put down $7 grand when she got her truck, and she only waited a day to get her truck. So it all just varies. But and so one of the most common questions I get asked is, how much is my truck payment? So the truck payment, well, the lease, let's start by that. The lease is 3 years. After 3 years, you can extend it for another year, and then at the end of the 4th year, it'll be $20,000. You either have to pay the $20,000 or you have to turn back in the truck. I think that's 4 years. I think is more than enough time to save up the 20 grand to pay off the truck. But if not, I mean, you can finance it with an outside source, a bank or one of those finance companies, whichever one you prefer. And then my truck payment is $12.58 a week. And then $12.48 a week. And then I have an extra $50 that come out as well for the not maintenance, just like a, I don't know, like an extra like a bonus maintenance, because you already have a maintenance account as well that comes out of that. So let me get the exact numbers. My exact numbers for my truck, the total truck is $176,000 is the total price, and $700. That's the total price. My truck payment is $1103 a week, and then there is a $145 MMA, which is the maintenance account. That's for if your truck break down or anything, you can pull the money from your maintenance account to cover those expenses. So that's what the 145 is. So my truck payment itself by itself is $1103, and then you pay that. It's 156 weekly payments, and my residual is $59,000 at the end of my lease. I can pay the $59,000, or like I said, you can go the 4th year and pay the $20,000 at the end. So that's one of the most common questions I get asked, so I figured I'll tap in and give y'all that. I'm trying to think if there's any more questions that I get asked about. I know it's mainly the payment, that's the truck, all my insurances. The insurances vary, I guess, based on where you go as far as company wise. Over here, I probably pay for all my insurances weekly. It's probably like, I want to say like $150 to $200. I don't remember the exact number, but it's somewhere around there for everything, because I think total my truck payment, the MMA, and all my insurances, I think the balance, I think weekly is like $1,500. That's for everything for the truck, all the expenses for the truck in itself minus fuel. So that's a ballpark of where you will be at. And this is a 2023 truck, so obviously if you have a used truck, like my brother has a used truck, you have a used truck, then your payment is cheaper. Your MMA is a little more because it's the older truck, so they charge you more for your maintenance account. So there's that. And then as far as like the down payment side as well, it varies case by case. So people ask others what their down payment was. It may be different for you, who knows. So it just varies based off of where you go. So if you come to Schneider, Schneider does pay $1,400 for you. If you don't come to Schneider, then it varies by company. I know some companies, I know like USA Trucks, they pay a percent down of you getting a truck, and all these other companies, I don't know exactly what they all do, but that's the incentive of coming to Schneider. Other than that, you have to pay out of pocket yourself the full amount. So just do your research on that end of it, but that pretty much sums it up for the most. Let me jump in and say also that I did have my LLC already when I came, and I also had my EIN number. I already had my business bank account set up as well, because I came from Prime and I was an owner op over there. So it's best to have those things already ready, because they're going to ask you, do you have those things? And it's best to have some kind of money saved. I mean, they're going to ask you on your phone interview if you have any money saved, how much do you typically save. So it's best to have something. So that's because I feel like the more you have saved, probably the lower your down payment is going to be. Because I feel like if you ain't got no money saved, I feel like in their eyes they're taking a risk giving you their truck, and then if something happen, you ain't got the money to cover it, so they're going to charge you more to offset that. So I could be wrong, but I feel like that's basically how they go off of it. And so yeah, have your LLC, EIN number. LLC, man, you can go online for your state and you can do it yourself. I live in Florida personally, and you can just go on sunbiz.gov and you can make it. It's $120. It's $120 a year. The EIN number is free, so to keep paying for that, I mean, to paying somebody for it, I'm in old Prime, they used to charge like $600 to set up your LLC. There ain't no need. You can do it yourself and save yourself the money. And business bank account, all you gotta do is go to your bank. Once you have your LLC set up and your EIN set up, you go to your bank, take them the information, and that's it. They'll open the account for you. I don't know, it just depends on what bank you go with. I personally have Navy Federal, easy process. So if you have any questions about the guy I use, I'll drop his name down below in the description box. My representative for SFI was Mike TISCH. Super helpful guy, stayed on top of it, always answered my emails, phone calls, never had a problem. So you can use him, you can use somebody else, doesn't really matter. But that's just my experience with him, and that's my boy got his truck from him, my brother, and my friend. So we all got our trucks from the same representative. So but other than that, if you have any other questions that I didn't cover, just drop it down below or message me. I'll leave that information down low. So like always, appreciate y'all for watching. Until next time.